Welcome to Truly Heal and the Truly Heal Business Blueprint. Learn how to earn money online as a certified health coach, as a naturopath, as a nutritionist, as a counselor, as a life coach. This is suitable for pretty much everybody, not only for health coaches. And I know in that industry there is a lot of passion, a lot of people like me who build and do things and learn and study and research, but then don't really know how to get it out. I've been following through my whole life with Hinduism, Buddhism, Bible. I've studied all religions very deep, studied the Mahayana Sutras, Jyotish and Ayurveda, meditation. And that was my basis, that was my foundation. And from there, my spiritual journey drove me to discover everything about cancer. And we made the movie Cancer is Curable Now, traveled around the world, and afterwards wrote the book Healing Cancer with Common Sense with the online program, moved on to the EQ Academy, Emotional Intelligence, which is probably the most spiritual study ever, translated into the Western mind. And then we have the EQ Stress certification, which is just in the process of being certified. And then the whole translated program for Truly Heal, which is our one-year online education program, our manual corrected naturopath and doctors correct your assignments. We have the workbook and we have an app for all our students. So you can see I've been very creative and I had massive amounts of passion to reach out to the world, but no clue about marketing. And I have to admit that. And it actually, in retrospect, it makes me kind of angry, because this is what you need to learn first. To build things properly before you start with all your passion, and then you run almost dry or run out of steam and don't get the rewards and don't get the attention that you actually want. So passion can replace a lot of ignorance, and I'm living proof of that, but strategy always wins. And that's why we want to study now the passion, the strategy, so that all of your passion is directed into the right way. Now, I'm talking here. I actually don't even know whether you hear my voice or whether you see my screen. You know, like, I'm fired up. Can you just write into the box underneath whether you can hear me or see me, or whether this is actually working? Okay, nobody's answering. That's no good. Oh yeah, there is answers. You seem to be a little bit in delay, a little bit back. Okay, yes. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I got a new microphone. It's actually working this time. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's look at the strategy. And I was instigated, and I actually thank everybody who complains to me. Always understand, every complaint is something I appreciate. And don't overdo it. But like in this case, Losi wrote, Marcus, your program is fantastic, but I'm missing the business component that all your coaches need. You have so much content in helping patients, but none on how to actually earn a living. And thank you for this. This is really helpful to us, and that's why we signed up with WME, which is the top leading SEO and marketing company in Australia. And they helped us develop the program. We signed up with Jeff Walker, which is the product launch formula. And he said, Marcus, if your coaches are successful, you are successful. So just help them as much as you can. And that's what we've incorporated, so that you really get the best of the best and learn how to put yourself out there into this world, so that when you start right here, that you have no problem to increase your traffic and really get up here into high levels where your website is visited 2, 3, 4, 5,000 times a month, and you can pull customers from that as many as you like. All right? So don't write questions. I see that's still ticking on. Either some of you are on a buffer, but you don't need to write me anymore. I've seen it works, and we have a question and answer at the end where we will discuss through all of your things and make notes as we go through, because I have so much content. I actually put this together for you that whether you sign up with our program, whether you join the program or not, it doesn't really matter. You get so much help and so much content out of this that you can translate this blueprint that I'm sharing with you now directly into a success line. There is no question. You don't need to join the program in order to have all that benefit. Now, if you do, you get some added benefits, but we'll talk about them a little bit later. The first thing we have to look at is that 70% of all health coaches never see a client. And that's a statistic that I pulled from the internet. There were worse. 80%, 90% of all health coaches never see a client. And I can actually imagine that, because you'll realize in a moment that there is a complete different personality behind it. A caring person, a loving person, somebody who has a passion to help, usually is not a marketer, is not a technical internet person. You know, there's different attributes, and that's why there is loads of passion, and then afterwards you run out because you don't know how to attract people into your practice. 50% of all naturopaths never ever see a patient. They work in as sales clerks in shops, natural health food stores, or sales reps for supplements or for products. But that's not really gratifying, because that's not what drove them to become a naturopath or nutritionist, or what drove them to study health coaching program. This is born out of a need to help. And then you don't know how to get that help to people, and that's a problem. Now, especially if you know that 95% of our world population have at least one chronic degenerative disease and have no solution whatsoever from the medical side. You know, there is no lack of desperation, lack of sick people. It's actually exploding right, left, and center. 70% of all children have more than 2 severe degenerative diseases. And a lot of mental problems, and we see that in Benjamin's school, children with ADHD and with allergy fits, and it's incredible. Every single child. And all those people need your help. And you got the knowledge, but there is a gap in between those two, and that's what we need to overcome. And that's what I call the missing link. The missing link between this huge demand of sick people and the lack of clients for you is twofold: education and trust. And let's face it, there is not a big trust towards alternative medicine, or as I call it, holistic medicine. Alternative is really put down by too many salespeople, and if we call ourselves something, we always have to use the word holistic, because it's that all-encompassing approach. But the second problem is lack of social leadership, and I explained that before. You're not an internet marketer. You're not a person that goes out and says, hey, I'm the best. And how to do that well and how to create that trust and education is actually what we learn in this field. And lack of social leadership is something that you realize in our chart. Those of you who have been with me for a while know that I break everything down into the 7 areas of life. And you can use that in many different ways. In regards to career, this is your relationship with your clients. How do you communicate with them? How do they like you? How do you understand them? How do you read what they need and provide it for them? And that's actually an art. You know, like a lot of people need a solution, but when you come and say, okay, no more chocolate, no more sweets, no more pizza, pasta, now from now on only green juice and raw foods, that's not a good communication skill of what they actually need. So you need to sell them on their highest trigger, and we learn linking in our program, really detailed. Communication and relationship is something very important. And yeah, that's something we need to learn in a big way. Education you usually have. Just going through our program, you will be probably a lot more educated than many of the doctors out there who have no clue what you learn and how to put it all together. So education is strong. Finances, well, that depends. If you have already a lot of money, then that might be good. But most practitioners, they struggle. They have a huge debt from their education. When you study naturopathy, it's $40,000, $50,000, and then you stand there and have no clients. So we need to overcome that and get you out of debt and get you a lot of money into your bank account. This is what I spoke about, is your purpose, your passion, your reason why you do it, because you want to help this world to become a better place, and to help children to grow up in a healthy way, and parents to have less struggle and stress. So the passion is there, your health education is there, you know how to help those people, but then you have no skills in marketing, advertising, and putting yourself out there and creating that leadership that people need in order to follow you. It's like having no sign at the door, or saying, well, a tiny little sign and saying, maybe you want to come with me. I give you something for free because I have not a lot of self-value, and hopefully you stay with me, which doesn't work. People like to follow leaders, and that's people who have authority and know where to go, and then everybody joins you. But if you don't have that leadership skill, then you won't have a practice. And the last subject that we look in regards to career is your work. And that's, that can be very unorganized, chaos. You spend thousands of hours and man-hours on the wrong things, which don't earn you a penny and don't bring the right clients in, whereas you can organize that. And that's why big companies are called organizations, because they are well organized. They need to have that structure in order to function. And if we build that into our small clinical environment, all of a sudden we have the same success. And that's the protocol that we do, and how we break things down in order to achieve good results. Now, the other subject, and you remember, let's just go back, education and trust. That's something that's been used and misused in many different ways. Trust has been misused by ignorant people and by very competent business people who try to make a profit above all. And people have purchased all the remedies, Laetral and vitamin C infusions and this and that, and then still they see people die. They still die themselves. The whole family has invested $30,000 into treatments, and it just didn't work. It becomes well known that there is very little that works, and you know that from your studies at the Truly Heal Academy, that we approach disease very differently. We don't sell those cures because it's ridiculous. They won't work, or they will work maybe on 3%, and the rest, runs out of money usually, and then runs out of time. So we don't follow this protocol. We search for the causes, remove the causes, establish a healing environment, and then when we add some of those protocols, they actually work. But that's taken for up what we study internally. It's still important. You need to earn, and that's why trust needs to be earned. I just can't stress that. You see, I put it very big. It needs to be something that you earn. Clients don't come through the door and say, oh, because you studied naturopathy, I believe you can help me. That's not true. So how do we earn it? Well, that's a very simple thing. First of all, you need to learn many different steps. And we've built them now into our protocol, which really starts, an overview, getting an overview, what is all included in that purple area. This is actually the blueprint that we talk about, the blue area and the purple area. Appearance and reality, a very important subject, because many people will tell you one thing, but the reality is very different. How to read that, the mirror effect, how people always experience what they need to, how they attract their soulmates, and how you attract the clients that you need. So there is no good luck or bad luck. It's actually all a learning curve. And we talk about that. Then the ultimate success formula, which is the whole protocol that we do here in great detail. And then we have, when we look into career, which is the blue bar, we look at the blueprint for success, step by step, building up a practice that works. Then we have how to plan your business, really a structured setup, a balanced approach, that you don't go and run off in one direction and miss out on many points, and we'll talk about some of them in a moment. And finding your niche, which is a really, really crucial part, and that's the first step that we talk about. And then we go into leadership, which is the second part, and there is many more videos underneath. I just took a screenshot from this, and it's about how to get social recognition, how to create a good product, and how to wrap it nicely, and all of those things. So let's just look what's covered in this blueprint and what you will learn in this video right now. especially in regards to work, what we call those bottlenecks, like time. Oh, we run out of time. We don't have enough time. We have too much to do. Usually, there is very little that you need to do, which is productive. The rest is fillers. And people have a talent to fill their life with work, with feeling busy, feeling important, and it just doesn't give you anything. For example, you would earn normally about $175 to $250, depending on your additional qualifications and the clientele that you attract. Now, you can spend 17 hours in customer relations and follow up on old emails and doing things that are done for $20, $30 an hour if you have someone doing it for you. You could set up websites which you can order on Elance, and they build it for you in magnificence and super speed with everything integrated for $100, and you spend 8 weeks to do that. So there is time, and that's a really important thing to look, where's my highest value, what is it that I can do best, and then do that. Technology, I just came to a website and that was really nice. I searched for 3 hours. I loved the product and I wanted to buy it, and then after the third page I found at the bottom a little line that said, if you're interested in our product, please fax us your order. Which is so outdated that technology can be a handicap as well. It can actually prevent you from earning money. Publicity, nobody finds you, nobody sees you, and you don't create enough publicity for people to actually know that you're there. Conversion can be a big problem. You have all the traffic on your website, but you don't have the right buttons for people to buy. The layout is not trustworthy. You have no security from your SSL certificates for your website. So there is lots of things that can prevent that. And that's what we did now. We had a company go through our website and they found 240 prevention points. That was kind of frustrating. We changed them all and immediately the conversion went up. So there is many things to look at. We'll discuss all of them. And products, whether you have a product, I hadn't have so many coaches. They have not finished their product. They don't know what to offer, but they advertise and they write articles and they are posting posts and they are writing newsletters and they do so much, and then when a client comes, there is no price list, there is no brochure, there is no defined product that people can buy, and that's not really helpful. So that's a very important one. And then productivity, like I said before, you could spend heaps of time in doing the wrong things or invest into areas that are of no concern to you, and then bad habits. Like, that's a very important one on how you structure your day and what you do, like starting in the morning with the most unnecessary thing and blocking all your creative time. So we'll talk about that as well. And I won't go through all of them. I just wanted to show you that we have in all of those areas self-worth, expert status, how you present yourself as an expert, how you actually are perceived as such, publicity, SEO, trust, and we have the same thing here in regards to money. Feeling worthy of money is a very important thing, and that requires you to look at your life, at your passion that you have and your education, and then turn that into a pricing. Because when you feel, oh, I don't know enough, oh, I should do this and this, and you spend hours and hours and hours on research, and then you get $50 for your consult, that's not really productive, and that's not feeling worthy of what you can help. So we have certain exercises to give you that understanding that there are people in need. They don't need everything at once. They don't need in one consultation the whole lot, because they are so overwhelmed anyway that they wouldn't have any support from that. So how to build it up, how to structure this whole thing, how to give them the best flow and earn income with it that is worthy and that you feel worthy for. So that's important. Residual income, because a lot of practitioners, they run dry after time. If you visit client after client after client, and it's always just your hourly rate and you have no income stream built up that creates an income, even if you go on holiday, even if you're not there, even if you refer a client that you can't take on just to a website and they can purchase a product which is helpful, and through that you have an ongoing income. All of those things are relevant, and we'll cover them in the program as well. Savings, how to put money aside and not just spend it all, and investments, and celebrate life, because that's something you can afford as soon as you have a Polster. And through that, you open up a huge amount of new possibilities, and we'll talk about that as well. All right, so let's get started. Now, you're all with me still? Just send me a very short note that I hear that or see that you are in there. And again, nobody writes. I think it's a buffer in that program that delays it a little bit. Yes, here's the first one. Okay, Marcus, keep going. We understand you really well. Thank you. And yes, high five. Good. Thank you. Let's get started. First subject. And if you want to take notes, you can. I've always put this slideshow underneath so that you can just grab it and fill in your notes afterwards, print it out. It's a little PDF that has all the slides, but it will make it very easy for you to follow through and actually put all those things into place. Define your niche. Well, that's probably the most important part. I can heal any disease. That's probably true. If you went through our program, you can heal almost any degenerative disease, whether it's leaky gut or whether it's depression or anxiety or cancer or anything. They say cancer is the final breakdown of the immune system, which means there is plenty of other diseases up front. And what we learn is when you go backwards, all of a sudden all those diseases disintegrate long time before the cancer goes. So being able to heal everything doesn't make it easy for people to find you, because they type into the internet very specific things how to look for their problem, and they usually type in their problem. So when you type in, for example, the keyword cancer into the search engine, you will find, and let me just drag this in, you will find that it's breast cancer that they look for. It's, when I look in for cancer coach, it's coach breast cancer, coach Pagnia cancer, it's coach Versa cancer, cancer training, and what did I type in? Cancer coach. Yeah, but even there, it's for Canada, so Canada is actually good. 10 searches a month. You realize how little people search for a cancer coach? So if we type in just cancer, you will find that it changes. Oops, I'm not logged in anymore. Played too long before. Your session has expired. So you can see here, and we have to ignore the horoscopes, cancer sign, cancer symptoms, and you can see it's still loading, and then it shows me here the search volume, and then it searched me here how many people pay and what they pay for click per ads and competition levels. So cancer itself is searched 67,000 times a month. That would be great to be for cancer in the very first spot, but that's very difficult. There is thousands of people competing for it. You pay $2 for every click, and competition rate isn't too high, but it's just too many people. And then you can look here, skin cancer, and then cancer sore, ovarian cancer, stomach cancer, cancer symptoms. You can see all of those have dramatic numbers, but there is huge amount of competition as well, and it's tough to get somewhere to the top. And that's what we did. We covered every subject and everything, and nobody could find us in that myriad of websites that are presented for that. So don't be fooled and think because you do a lot, people will find you. And I noticed that. See, I had massive success when I went on workshops because it was directly local people and advertised to local people. But when I stopped doing workshop, everything slowed down. It was like we were not existent on the internet. Now, all of a sudden, we have a regular traffic of 6,000 people a day, and that is a big thing. And if we manage to get in Google onto the search engines on top 1 with many of our keywords, then we have 10,000 people a day, and that's a huge difference. So that's what you want to achieve, and that's why looking for the right keyword is so crucial. Now, I've been playing a little bit and looked for something to show you an example. Let's say you pick out leaky gut. And leaky gut is something that you've learned to overcome yourself. You know how to heal. You went through all the research. Now you would say, okay, this is something I would like to tackle. Now there is how to heal leaky gut is searched 1,600 times on the internet every month, and you can see numbers are going up. More and more people are looking for it. So that's a good thing. It's $1.16 per click. So if you want to advertise and you get 10 clients, it costs you about $10 to have them come to your website where you show them how to heal leaky gut. Competition rate is 0.13, so that's okay with these types of searches. You should be able to get there, but it's a bit of work, so it's not overnight. You probably, when you create your website, when you create your first blog post, you are on page number 100, and dependent on how many backlinks, how many people think your post is good, how valuable it is, how people refer to it, how many Facebook shares, how many YouTube shares, and everything is, all of a sudden you slip forward and forward until you make it on page 1. And we know that nobody searches past page 1. They all, the first 3 or 4 or 5, and that's it. And afterwards, they're gone. So you need to be on that prime position. And that's why it's important that you take the keyword that they are looking for. Now, if you just go a little bit further down, this one is searched 390. How long to heal leaky gut? Now, that's a really good one, because that's all the impatient people. And you just need to provide a fast solution for them and teach them exactly how to do it in the best way. And all of a sudden you have 390 people who come to your website every month. Probably you get away with 20 cents per click, and you have 0.02, which is very, very low competition. And you can capture them in a very good way. So searching this way is important. If you take how to heal leaky gut, and how to cure leaky gut, see, you have higher visitors, but also higher price. So it's a really interesting way to look and rather build up with something like that and say, okay, I'm there in no time on page 1, and I have 390 clients a month. And once you've achieved that, you create the next product, which might cover a higher number because you already have an authority in that field. And that's how we approach this subject. So finding your niche is really important. Don't go for those extreme high-ranking keywords where people spend a lot of money, because it's just going to cause frustration. Okay, so that's the very first thing, and that's why I said be specific. You can't take just a keyword because you think that's okay. You need to do the research whether it's actually working or not, and whether that's what people look for. And that's what we do in our program with the keyword tool that we use, or Moz or SEMrush or Google Keyword Planner, and there is plenty. Google Trends will show you trends. You will learn how to find age groups, demographics, location. You can make that very local. Only in San Francisco I look for clients, so I don't need to address the world. I don't need to compete with the world. I just need to compete that I'm in San Francisco in spot number 1, and that's very, very easy to achieve compared to reaching it as a global approach, okay? So the next step we talk about is how to plan your delivery. And again, that's very, very important. You want to do phone consultations, Skype consultations, you want to do workshops and group sessions and retreats where you get 20 people come to a Bali retreat, and then you enjoy everything there and you learn and you have a great time. It's actually something very, very attractive to do and to build up. So that might be your plan. You might do one-on-one consultations. People come to you, or give them a service, or give them PMF treatment or sauna treatment or whatever. It's one-on-one, or you do it like me, all online. See, I don't want to have people come to a practice and be time-bound. I'm probably way too creative. I want to travel and go somewhere and visit new clinics and see things and be out there. So what I do is I build an online delivery package, so everybody can just go onto the website, find out, start going through the program, be corrected, get their assignments, and have my webinars and my knowledge and everything directly through the internet. Gives me time to go stand up paddleboard when it's nice weather, and that's why in the beginning we said how to earn money online, because it's part of the program that you create residual income, something that will earn you money whether you are there or not, whether you have time or not. I wouldn't do that as a single thing, especially if you want to help people. You can do one-on-ones, you can do phone consultations in a great way. And I've covered it in this program as well, so that you learn how to do that. Okay, the next step, become an expert first. And this is, I should actually make this, wrong way, this way. Huge. It's going down no matter what I do now. Okay, first, really crucial. Don't start to get out there and promote yourself and be just because you have a title. It actually is very tempting. You know, you finish school and you think, oh, I've learned so much. Now I'm an expert and I can go out. You are not really. You might know a lot, but you're not presented and accepted and recognized as an expert. And that's why the very first step that we need to do is study and research and then put it all together into a product, which means you go through the research. What is actually working with leaky gut? What is the foundation for it? And put everything together. Then everything that you've learned, put it under the microscope and really put it together in a way that it's practical, easy to use, because not everybody will heal leaky gut in the same way. And there's different food sensitivities, there's different deficiencies, there's different inflammation markers. People have different habits and lifestyles. So make it for each individual. Build a protocol that helps them to find first out if they have heavy metal toxicity and it's all in the gut. Well, then you will find that no matter what you do, that heavy metal will cause high inflammation and it will cause leaky gut. If somebody has hormone problems, or if they have take the pill, girls take the pill since many years and they have a complete hormonal imbalance, they cannot reverse leaky gut because it's that hormonal balance that causes that problem. So we need to approach it like we do with Truly Heal Everything, with a very educated measure. And if you put all of that together and don't leave out crucial important parts, put your PubMed studies to it, you have afterwards a product, and we'll talk about how you can structure your product that is high value, way above high value. And let me just give you a little bit of an example. If you go and have that research done by an Indian e-lancer, you have put your ebook together with a little bit of protocols by someone from those hiring sites, and you haven't put a lot of product together, you still have a product, and it just won't have a long value. No, not long-lasting implementation into your work, and it won't give you that expertise that people expect. When you look at what Ty Bollinger did, he traveled around the world and interviewed the top experts, put it all together into a movie. I can guarantee if you speak with him now, he knows more than most of those experts do, because he pulled it all together and he knows it. Like me, studying for 10 years with the top leading experts, you stand on the shoulders of giants. You know what they know, but you know what 20 others know as well. And you've put that all together. So it's actually important that you do that part properly and then create something which is so extraordinary that people refer back to you. And that might not take long. Look, it took me a long time to travel and to put the video together, but you can do that a lot more distinct and clear. And like I said to some of our coaches, just call the top leading experts and make an interview with them. Ask them 1,000 questions, refer to them, associate with leading experts, and all of a sudden you are part of the group. So you can do that very easily. And then we go into the next step, which is probably the most important, and that's overcoming mediocrity. Actually, to tell someone, just call this doctor, they are more afraid to call a doctor and to speak to them because they don't have that self-worth, that magnificent. You are just as magnificent as anybody else. And as long as you don't ask questions, you won't learn. So don't be afraid. The question of who would listen to me, who would speak with me, why should I have more success than others, I'm a nobody, is actually the greatest downfall of every single practitioner out there. You're just as magnificent. All you need to do is become an expert first. Put all your research together. Ask a million questions. I have to tell you a little story. Like when I came to a clinic and I was there for a week, the doctor said, I think you've asked me now 1,000,000 questions. Do you put that all together? Because I have never shared anything so intense. And he was really pinpointing it. But it took me a while in the beginning. I didn't have the jargon, I didn't have the knowledge, so I kept on asking. And I think when I left, he was making 3 crosses that I was finally gone. But we have now a great relationship because I learned it. And if you share the passion with someone, if you come to me and say, Marcus, I want to learn about health, I'm happy to share it with you because it's my passion. And in the same way, you can do that with all those practitioners and doctors and learn from them and work with them and study their work. And then all of a sudden you realize that you stand on their shoulders or you stand at eye level with them and they respect you in the same way as you do them. So don't be afraid of being magnificent. Just step up to the task and move forward. And that brings us to our product. How do we approach our business blueprint? How do we set everything up? And that really starts from developing your product from the bottom up. Everything that you want to sell is the first thing that you do, right? It's your expertise. Make a product. Create a product. I shouldn't put 2 titles up here, but it's really important. Clearly define what you have to sell. Service, consult, coaching, workshop, corporate training, retreat, evaluation, house visits, clinic. There is plenty of possibilities to do a pit stop or a club or anything, but you need to be clear right up front. Then you create your product, all your research, pack that in case it's a website and you want to do a delivery like a membership area or a course or a seminar, then you need to put that together. Handbooks and slideshows and a presentation and website and whatever. Then you need to define exactly how much you want to charge for it, how many you would like to sell, how your audience is. Then you create a shopping cart and then you create your gateway. And that's all first step. Don't start writing blog posts and advertise something which you don't have yet. You create your product first. And once you have that, then you can go to the next step. And that's really the green funnel, the middle part. That's actually where you create or collect prospects. See, this is what you want to sell. This is who you want to sell it to. Actually, people that are interested in what you have to offer. So when somebody is in the yellow field, that's people on the road. So you go to 50 people on the road and say, hey, I have a product that you can have from me, which is for free, and would you like to have it? Now, how many of those 50 people or 100 people will have interest in leaky gut? Maybe 10. So this is all of them. This is the 10 that have the problem. And then once you give them something for free, where you educate them, like I do now with that webinar, I educate you about the product that we have. And I show you exactly what you can do with it. So education is the green funnel. And all of a sudden, a stranger on the road becomes a prospect. Somebody that says, oh, he really has a clue. He puts something of value together, creates a reciprocity, creates a certain kind of gratitude, and it creates respect. So that's the part that we want, education and credibility. And it's target-specific course. It's not a course about generally getting well. It's very target-specific, how to heal leaky gut fast. Because that's the keyword that we looked at in the beginning. And you create a webinar, you create a recording, a special report, an ebook. Ebooks aren't really that powerful anymore. And for a person to give you a name and email for an ebook in exchange is sometimes rare because there's so many junk ebooks out there that have no value, so people wouldn't buy them. Summits are really great, and this is the exchange. Subscribe, they give you name and email, and you give them quality over quantity. This is where you go quantity, massive amounts of information so that people realize that you're there. And you just keep feeding into the nowhere land, into Facebook, into Google, into everywhere. But then once they come to the green area, you have something which is a finished course, and then make it worth their while. If they want to spend an hour with you, you need to have something really worthwhile. So that's what you deliver here. And then you subscribe, and therefore you have their name, you have their email, and you can keep on offering your services to them. And that's where most likely some of them, not all, you see the funnel gets smaller to the end. Some of them will say, okay, I become a customer and buy your product. So let's look at the big publicity stunt. Building a profile, get loads of leads, start writing keyword-specific content. And again, keyword-specific, because you want to attract the right crowd. You don't want people with toothache. You don't want people with a headache. You want people who have leaky gut and who have no patience, who want it to heal very fast. So, email, Facebook, articles, YouTube, talks, presentations, seminar, being out there, radio interviews. You can approach interviews with online marketers and be interviewed. It's actually one of the most powerful. If an internet marketer who has a big database does an interview with you, talks about your funnel, about your product, about leaky gut, and all of a sudden you have 5,000 people come straight away, all sign up to you. They give you their name and email, sign up with your free course, and all of a sudden you will see that when you do it well, at the end, some of them will become clients. So that's the funnel. And I tell you why you do it the wrong way around. You start with the bottom because you need to become an expert first, and you need to have something for sale. If you start out here and you have nothing for sale, then that's not worthwhile. If you do a lot of lead collection, that might be okay, and then you create a product later, so you know whether there is lots of people signing up for it. So that could be another possibility, but you never start out here and create loads of people and put out lots of information without having something to sell. So these are the two most important. And the next step is really, really simple. When you've created your first funnel, you've created your product, let's say how to heal leaky gut fast, and you have a course, an online course that you do, then you create your funnel, and you can have 5 funnels for that. You know how to collect prospects. You can put up a webinar, you can put up an ebook, you can put up workshops and seminars, you can do many things here to get those leads, whether they come from Facebook, whether they come from click ads, whether they come from newspaper ads, whether they come from JV partners and referrals. It doesn't matter. You can have 10 of those, all leading into your 2 or 3 funnels, and then all becoming customers. So 1. And you build this one as solid as you can to create your authority. Leaky gut. And now you say, look, I've covered leaky gut, and you can take Dr. Mercola a little bit like that. He covered every subject, whether it's obesity, whether it's cancer, whether it's leaky gut. He did the same thing. Hundreds of newsletters out. He has his funnels to bring people in and to become clients, and then he even has a clinic to treat or to offer. So it's like all leading back to him. And once you do that well and you realize how much power comes from that, let me just give you an example. This would be, for example, an online product, or it would be your online service, telephone service consultation. Then here you do a retreat. Here you do one-on-one consultation. For those people who you can't take on because you're too busy, you prepare a workshop where you prepare them while they are on the waiting list. So if they go onto the waiting list for any of those, you create here a product which is $95 or $45, how they can already prepare that when they come to you, that they already have everything in place. Here you can do something else. There's thousands of ideas on how to create massive amounts of certainty income streams. So when you don't do one-on-one consultation anymore, you still have all the others coming to you, and be consistent and stay on track. The next part we have is be playful. Don't see it as a very serious thing, and if you put out a video and it doesn't turn out well, delete it. And if you speak up and you get lots of uproar and a lot of bitching, I always say when you speak something that people like to bitch about, chemotherapy is bad, and all of a sudden you get 1,000 comments underneath and people start that uproar, and that's usually the worst clients, or no clients at all. They don't buy, they don't look for a solution, they like to bitch in with you. And it can be quite nice sometimes to speak up your opinion, but this won't make you rich. This will make you famous and put you onto the hot seat somewhere, and then people start to point fingers. So it's nice to join in sometimes, but certainly not if you want to be credible and want to build a big community that trusts you. YouTube is a great way, blogging is a great way, Facebook is fantastic because you can create your own Facebook group, and we'll cover that in one of our subjects, because that's where you can learn a lot about the demographics and who comes to you, who learns with you, who is actually your real client, what age, what social demographic, and how much money do they have, which is really important because you don't want everybody coming and say, I can't afford your services, but I would like you to help me. It's frustrating. So you want people that can afford your services as well. Okay, let's just go back. You've created here your product, you've created your prospect, and you've let them all in. Hundreds of people that come from this angle. It should actually be the other way around. Hundreds of people come your way. You've converted about 10% into prospects, and from that you would like to convert now 3 to 5% into clients. So you see, you need lots of people see your stuff in order to make one client. But, and this is now where this comes in, an icebreaker. And we've started to do that now with 2 coaches really intensely to try it out, to test it out. And it's actually a recommendation from Jeff Walker. He said, if you do an icebreaker, you will win. And I noticed that for myself. We sell $20,000 PMF machines online. And that's a sale where you normally have a rep coming to the house and they present you the machine and they show you the machine and they do a lot of work and then people buy eventually. But it's a big expense, it's a lot of time, and you have to have the product. We sell them online. So sometimes I wonder why, but people, they have seen my 20 videos on PMF. They've seen the course, they went through the course, they learned everything, they know exactly how to use it in the best way. And then they give me a call or write me an email, Marcus, would you just give me a call? I'm interested in the PMT. You speak 10 minutes with them, and it's probably just that they see that you're a real person, that you exist, and that you're approachable. And all of a sudden, the deal is done. And that's the same for any practitioner. So let's just say you start here in your funnel, you get 1,000 people sign up to become prospects. Now you have 100 prospects in here, and you write to those 100 people and say, folks, I'm offering this week 10 30-minute free evaluations. Only 10. I don't have more time, but I would like to help those in need to find a way how to get out there. So if you sign up here on this website, fill out this little form, questionnaire. I have some questions in order to do my evaluation. And that's where you ask them about their eating habits, about their food sensitivities, and you realize whether they are conscious of those things or not. And you give them a little bit of an evaluation, and you have them call. Now that's a 30-minute call. If you learn how to convert during those 30 minutes, that's a client that you own. And that's increasing usually your conversion rate manyfold. Let's say they are signing up here as a lead, 1,000 people, 100 people, and then you usually have here 3. Now that could be increased with this icebreaker up to 10%, 15% if you learn how to give them value and they realize you're a real person with real authority. And that's why we said create the product first, because that makes you that authoritarian person that can then give very good advice. And always, I have to say that, I just have to, because that's another big problem that most coaches do. In those 30 minutes, they give everything they have because they want to show how good they are and how knowledgeable. And the client falls backwards over their chair, can't breathe anymore, walks out, and is completely overwhelmed and confused. That's not what you do. In those 30 minutes, you listen. Number one, clients want to be heard. They want to see that you are interested in their problem. There is a beautiful little story when I write out on Elance and I get 25 or 30 applications back, and then one guy writes, Marcus, I've been looking at your website and I've actually studied what your problem is and this, and I can help you with that and that. And look here, I made you actually a little bit of an example. That guy gets the job. Whereas those who wrote me 50 recommendations of other companies and how great they are and look at me, pick me, they don't get the job. And that's the same thing. Listen to your clients. Show that you read their evaluation. If they spend 10 minutes to fill out your form, show them that you looked at it. And then give them one very, very powerful and clear advice. Something simple that they can immediately do without spending money. And don't tell them you need to do $5,000 worth of tests and you have to stop eating chocolate. That's not how you sell your services. You do it really gentle with a super powerful gift to them, and then sell them your services. And that's probably the part that you have to learn as hard as I had to learn it. I went out on my first workshop tour. There was 65 workshops, and the first 5 workshops I didn't sell anything. And then I started to sell a little bit here, a little bit there, and one here, one there, one nasal laser, one service, one coaching program. I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a really tough one. And then we came to a place where I had really just 5 nasal lasers left, and I had 2 books left, because we sold always just one. So I came in and I said, probably in the first 15 minutes of the talk, I hadn't even presented anything. I said, folks, just to make clear, we only have 5 nasal lasers left, and I have only 2 books left. So for those of you who already know that they want to join, and people stood up and threw over chairs to run to the back and buy, and I was like, okay, that's a learning curve that I won't forget. Limited quantity, time pressure, special discounts, special bonuses, limited seats. It actually is, as ridiculous as it sounds, it's well trained. I think it's Aldi training, or it's some kind of supermarket training that people perceive or receive since they are little. And if that's not there, they won't buy. And that's true. You can have your products listed on your website time and time again for every different price, for free, for $5, for $50, for $100, for $350. You know what? They buy it for any of those prices. Any, and I really tell you, if there is limited quantity, special discounts, special bonuses, and the product has value. Now that's something I always add. I believe people buy a lot of junk as well, a lot of crap that doesn't help, but that depends on how it's sold. So that's your marketing strategy. That's how you present your credibility, and that's something we'll talk about as well. But people buy everything if it's presented in the right way and it has the right amount of teasing in it. And I noticed that with many of the talks that I went to after I became aware of that people sell always based on time pressure and special bonus and limited seats. And it's really great. When we just go back to the icebreaker, you offer 10 30-minute evaluations, and that's it. That's all per month that you do. Now you can go and sell 50. Nobody sees. 50 people entering their email address, you can still work them off and you give them time. You can say, I'm so busy, it will take a week until I can take you, but you can take them all in. And then you start giving your top evaluation, and don't expect that you sell all to your first client. And especially if you get arrogant, if your first client sells and you think, oh, I got it, then you have probably 5 that don't buy. So stay humble, stay very quiet, just follow through and learn the technique. Learn how to get those clients in. And with the icebreaker, it's actually quite easy. You can say, I'm really, really happy that we can talk, and I'm happy to give you the presentation, but you're my last one today, and everybody has signed up. I'm already pretty booked out, so I probably won't be able to take you in. Already then, people want to come to you, and that's a really important part. You will see how that works, and you have to train it. And then get paid upfront. It's really important. If you give out services for free, it doesn't work. No free services. People don't respect you. Define very clearly payment policies, set up different payment options, whether it's your control. I like control. It actually works with Stripe because it allows me to charge on all devices at the same time. It allows me to charge every currency all around the world, and it always works. Whereas with PayPal, I had a lot of glitches. Some people don't like it. So Stripe seems to be my number one, but I think you have that Square, and in America there is plenty of more options. So just have a look. You can run it on your phone wherever you are. It's simple, it's easy, but install it because you want payment up front. Otherwise, you can't guarantee a seat. And then we go into follow protocol. And again, this is something I'm working on at the moment with several naturopaths. They very often tend to work with clients what the client wants. And the client comes in with a protocol they've heard of, they've read something, they have different ideas and concepts, and then they heard about a new remedy, and then all of a sudden it's all over the show. It's not founded, it's not a proper protocol, and that causes confusion, doesn't give results. Clients shop here, shop there, try this, try that, and it doesn't work. So if you sell your protocol, make it clear what they buy, and then really follow through. Like in our case, when we use the app or you use the protocol, it's always about first the gut health and family foundation, and looking what food sensitivities and absorption rate and deficiencies and inflammation markers, and then go through the different organs and really follow through, because that's your protocol and that's how you guarantee results. And by playing around and doing here a little bit and there a little bit, you become just like everybody else who tries, but it's not following through. And I can guarantee one thing. Once people know that you have protocol, and we've seen that now every single time we've implemented that and clarified up front, this is how we work, this is what you will experience, this is how we can guarantee you results, and this is your success plan. And actually, this is an important one. A success, I want just that word here. Success plan means, look, we check your toxicity levels, and then we go every 2 months and follow through whether your heavy metal toxicity, mercury toxicity has come down. And then we can see what we work, whether it works, what we do. And then you celebrate if it goes down, or if your deficiency levels go up, or your inflammation levels go down, so that people realize you are doing something that is of value to them. And all of a sudden, you have full house. And I've noticed that with every practitioner that we implemented the protocol, they love it. Get testimonials. Just a side note, I always forgot that. I thought that's not relevant. This program is very different, and that usually fits to me, to all other personal development programs. It contains the most spiritual teachings wrapped into common sense, presented with such logic that application becomes super easy. And thank you very much for that, Simon. This is what I actually like to hear, because we want to be different, square, out of the box. There is thousands of people who compete for the same. We don't. We really do approach things from such a holistic angle, with such an incredible overview, that you can almost guarantee success. You can always guarantee improvement of life quality, and that's why this is such an extreme service. So, be proud of it. Demand creates more demand. And I don't know, I seem to be saying to every headline, that's the most important, but this is probably the super most important. If you are available immediately, just come by next week, or just come by tomorrow, or I might have time right now, and I won't charge you for the first consultation, then you are of no value. Really believe that. If you are, everybody can have you, so nobody wants you. If you are in high demand and there is not enough supply of you, then all of a sudden you earn their respect, you earn their credibility. And again, this is Aldi training supermarket I want to have. It's limited quantity and it's only available today, and then it's all gone and there is 500 people lining up, so I need to be there early. That's exactly it. Demand creates more demand. So plan ahead and book intelligently. And if I say intelligently, it's actually so simple, yet for many people so complicated. And I won't go into all details here, because that's actually one of the biggest success secrets that we share in our program. And I'll share with you some. Yes, thank you very much. I will not leave it out. Intelligently means you build a program for yourself and a timetable, and that's what we do in the blue area. Let me just go back here. This is a nice image. You have your services. This is where people see you, and this is the product that they've purchased, whether that's a workshop, whether that's a seminar, whether that's your one-on-one consultation. If it's online products, you don't need to be there, but you have limited time. So if they do work with you from those angles, then that's something you sell. Okay. If that's available all the time, it's not interesting. If everybody can have it because no one else wants it, then that's not valuable at all. So what we normally do is we set up every practice. Monday is visitor time. Tuesday is your consultation time or your free consultation. You know, the icebreaker we talked about? You can do that on a Tuesday. Then on a Wednesday, you create a new funnel. On a Thursday, you create more publicity and leads, and you can do that Friday as well. Friday is Venus Day, show-off day. So you write your Facebook ads, you write your infomercials, you create some articles and newsletters on Thursday and Friday. On Wednesday, you create your product, your green, to collect prospects, something that they give you in return, your email address. And then on the other 2 days, you can work. You can work with your client. One is the icebreaker, and you can book 20 people for that icebreaker, and then you do your consultations on one day. Now, a very simple principle is here. Once that day is booked out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and people say, woo, it's hard to get in there, and it's really tough because you create so much publicity while you have no space, all of a sudden this builds up. And then you have an incredible amount of demand and not enough space. You remember? That's really important. Now you can add, instead of your 20 or 30 or 40 free consultations that you offer, you do only 5 or 6, and you take the rest of that time to do consultations with clients. You still keep those things up, publicity, because you need that in order to sell this product and sell this product. So that it's not all relevant that you are there. It's actually, you also sell your online course, you also sell your ebook, you sell your preparation time for your clients. And these will become residual income streams that will need you to less time with the client. So it's really dependent on how you want to do it, but never ever rely on one, because if you get sick and nothing else is built up, you have no income, and that's not what you want. You want to have a residual income at the same time. So this is actually the main formula that we teach in doing things intelligently, because you can spend hours and hours talking to clients, talk them dead in their clinic, in your clinic, and they don't come back because you've overwhelmed them instead of giving them really proper sized portions which are easy to swallow, easy to translate, and build up your practice in a very intelligent and systematic way. Okay, what would you do if you had 6 new clients a week? 6 new clients, that's really easy. You do one day with 6 icebreakers or 10 icebreakers, and if you get a little bit of practice, that's not a problem. That's per week. 6 new clients, and we take a very low fee just for a sample. That's $4,200 a month. And all you have to do is to follow this blueprint step by step. Very simple. Now let's add something. Autopilot. What would you do if you had 100 new clients per month buying a $45 workbook presentation, something where you show them online how to do it, and really you follow through, and those clients who went through that program, they can book with you a one-on-one consultation, because you don't want to work with everybody. You want with those who already have prior knowledge, so that you can do very deep and achieve much better results. So they buy a $45 product, and that's easy to achieve with that keyword ranking. You remember we had 350 or 390 people searching every month for that keyword. Where is it? Let's just go back to it. 390 people every month consistently searching for that keyword. So if you get out of those 39, 100 which sign up for your green funnel, and then you turn into a prospect, into a buying client, 45 of those, 100 of those, that's super. That gives you another $4,500 a month additional. They all buy your product directly from the web. So that's something you don't need to do once it's set up. It will become better and better and better. You can work with joint venture partners and give them a share of that and say, okay, you send it out to your clients, you get 50% of what we sell it for, because it doesn't cost me anything to replicate, and then they will share and buy with you. So it's a very simple principle. And that's all inclusive in our program. Now, this is now my sales pitch, and I want you to be very careful and look very, very clearly how that works. The big issue when you have a product is that it needs to be practical for the client. Now, if our coaches sign up, and this is our coaching program, the one-year coaching program, they will end up, without the blueprint, unemployed. So what we add to it, all inclusive, the blueprint. So we teach you step by step how to do Facebook ads, how to do click ads, how to do the marketing, how to present yourself, how to put a product together. All of that is included. Then we have another benefit that we added, because from my spiritual studies, the EQ Stress Coach certification is right now on its way. We actually realize that cancer is related probably 80% to stress. And I'll talk about that in a moment in a lot more detail. But if a coach cannot help a client to get out of stress, he can't heal the client. And that's why we added that to our program. We do hand-corrected assignments, which means it's not like 60% you passed the test. Thank you very much for your money, and we had no work to do with it. Well, we don't do that, because we don't want you to send out to clients and destroy our reputation with not knowing anything. If you pass because we hand correct, we check, and we help you to understand the subject to the best degree. And that will give you good credibility, because we become famous for the best coaches in the world. And then you have your workbook, and now you have the full app on your phone, on your iPad, on your Android, on your PC, everything. I'll talk about that as well. So all of that is included. Now the special trick, it's right now in that button underneath, and I'll blend that in now. I should be able to do that here. Yes, turn on now. So it should appear any moment on your screen, and that will give you $3,200 for all inclusive in Australian dollars, in New Zealand dollars, in Canadian dollars, and US. And it will show you always in your local currency. And for those of you who suffer from a very bad exchange rate will know that this is up to a $1,600 discount that will be available only until I finish talking with this presentation, which is probably another 15 minutes. So if you want to get to that discounted price, you need to join right now. Okay? So, limited time, limited space, and discounted option, and all inclusive, all those bonuses. Now let me just go through very short, because I want you to be clear, if you sign up with us, that this is not a program like any other health coaching program. And I have to be very honest, I signed up with pretty much every program that there is health coach programs and cancer coaching programs, because I wanted to see what do they offer, what is all included, and how well do they train their clients or their students. And I actually have to say, and I don't think it sounds bloated, but it's a joke. It's really a joke. There is, if I would have cancer and I would go to one of those coaches, I would feel let down. Because we all know that just selling remedies and just selling all of those cures won't get anyone well. A simple thing like a deficiency is a massive reason for not to heal. So we don't offer just a coaching program. You will probably know 80% more than most doctors out there in regards to creating that balance and integrate back that balance into the program. So that's a given. But if you read those testimonials, this is probably the most enlightening journey I have embarked on. To sign up and become I signed up to become a health coach, but that's only a fraction of what I gained from this course. The real value is a change of perspective on life, which turns every problem into an opportunity. Now, if I would have to reduce what we do into one sentence, then that's it. We turn every problem into an opportunity to grow and evolve with joy. We take fear out of every problem. And once you can do that, once you learn to do that, your whole life changes, because it's not like, oh, another problem. It's like, oh, this is how I can actually evolve and grow, and this is how I turn my life into success. And that change of perspective is probably the biggest value that I can give you. Marcus may sell you a health coaching program, but it's so much more. What I have learned in this course has transformed my whole family, which is always true. You never learn for yourself. My personal life and my work in ways I can hardly describe. If I tried, I would say peace of mind, and actually, again, this is what really turns out, peace of mind, certainty, and success and joy of life. And thank you, Jeff, for that testimonial. This is what I aspire, and you've read this one already. This is what I aspire, not to provide you with a program that just gives you, oh, if that's the problem, like pharmaceutical medicine, that's the problem, so this is the supplement that suppresses the problem. We deal with it, we resolve it, and then we get rid of it. And that's why the stress management is included. Now, very short, just about the app, and it's finally finished. And because we have so much request from universities and from colleges and functional medicine colleges who want to use the app, we just revamped the whole thing. It's on a brand new server. It's completely overhauled. It has all research studies and everything included. And we are able to charge for health practitioners a $450 subscription fee. And for our coaches, it's a lifetime access. You don't pay any of that. Bonus 2, and this is something in the works. It's already finished 90%. We're uploading at the moment, and we have sent it in to the IICT for approval. And as soon as the approval is through, every student that is finished with our health coaching program will afterwards also have a stress coaching certification. And stress coach is probably the most requested and searched coach in the world. And as you learn, we cover every subject, we cover everything. So when a client comes to you and they have stress in relationship, or they have stress with not knowing, having a purpose, everybody tells them what they have to do, but they don't know what to do for themselves. Then finding a purpose, finding a passion is actually the solution. If somebody has health stress or has social stress, you know how to help them. And that's why this is probably the most powerful add-on to our program that we could give to our coaches. The full course on its own will be $1,950. And if you buy right now, it's included into our health coaching program completely free. So that's a $2,000 saving already, and that's US dollars. So you can imagine if you join now that this is a bonus that won't come back. And as soon as we have approval, we'll set it as a separate course. Talking about approval, I just wanted to let you know the approval is based on, we are an accredited service provider, and as soon as we offer a training, it's checked with questions, with authority, what type of teachers, what is the authority of the teachers, how can they provide the training. And once that is approved, you get through the IICT membership and insurance, which is a public liability insurance and a work indemnity insurance. And you want that. You don't want to work with clients without insurance. So that's what the approval process is right about. And we hope in 2 or 3 weeks we have it back. And then the course is fully certified. And then we can offer it as a stress coach certification program on its own. If we talk about stress, there's many methods that are out there. We know meditation is a beautiful way to deal with stress. But most of us do it like this fellow or like me, itching, scratching, distractions, a buzzing a fly, then we have a bird singing outside. We have a lot of parrots here and kakadoos, and when they start screaming outside your window, your meditation is done. Or in the morning, the kookaburras, or you're worried about something, you have some stress levels, and until you quiet down and calm down your meditation levels, it takes 20 minutes, even for very advanced people in meditation, out of a daily life to come to stillness. Now, how many of you practice that long enough to make a difference? When we look at breathing exercises or Tai Chi or pranayama, they are most powerful and helpful tools to bring you back into the center. But when the trigger is back, and let's say your husband is the trigger to cause you stress, and your husband walks through the door, you could do breathing as long as you want, you're dead quiet while he's gone, but as soon as he walks through the door and he presses that push button reaction, as Dr. Bruce Lipton calls it, push button reaction, you are back in stress. It's the same, you get a phone call from your doctor, and with a report that isn't too helpful, all of a sudden, all of this is gone. Some people even think they can tap their problem away. Like, I love my husband, and my husband is nice to me, and they tap up front and go through the whole thing, and then the husband turns around the corner and is nasty again, and all of a sudden, the whole tapping is out the door. And that's why I know that they are all very, very valuable tools. And I practice meditation myself every single day and breathing exercises. But they do not resolve stress and that which causes stress. If you have problems, for example, work, you have not enough time, too much work, not enough pay, no success, no solution, wrong product, wrong marketing, and whatever else could be, and you're completely freaking out every day at work, can you tap that away? Honestly, simple solutions for simple minds. I can sell that very easily because you don't need to resolve your time issues and make a proper plan. What is practical? What is valuable for your business? What is not? Where do you lose time? Where do you spend time unnecessarily, which you could hand out to a $10 employee? In the Philippines, and they do probably a 10 times better job because you don't like to do it. Too much work because you work things that are not relevant and you don't plan, not enough pay, well, probably you have no self-worth. So, see, we can solve all of that within a matter of a few days. But to tap it away and to still keep doing what you do is insanity, and you know that. Einstein said, doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome is insanity. So we need to change the way you do things. And that is actually resolving the stress. If you have not enough money, and let's just play this very simple. A client comes through the door and can't afford supplements, can't afford treatments, and actually can't even pay your services. Oh my God. And now you come along and say, well, in order to help you, we need to do $1,500 tests. And then you need to buy a machine, which is about $4,000. You can probably get away with the $2,000 model. That client just freaks out, and stress levels go through the roof, and they feel that they can't help themselves. Everything is out of place, and it just turns into shambles. So, instead of putting more stress onto that client, How about you find a solution? How to introduce a referral program? See, I have probably about 50 clients, patients, that learn through our protocol, that love our protocol, that had help from it, and they refer me clients. They refer people to our coaching program. I have one patient, she went through the program and learned for herself, and she probably put 20 coaches to us. Now, she gets a referral out of every coach that she sends. And she's talking right, left, and center about the product because she loves it. So she earns a very good income and can afford supplements, can afford treatments, can afford a coach because she has a referral system with us in place, which is our affiliate program. Organize a fundraiser. This is something that you can always do, and I have to tell you that little story. A lady came to me and she said, Marcus, I have no money. Actually, really, I can't even afford to be here today. And so we said, well, what do you have at home? What can we sell that you have? Pictures, paintings, sculptures, knitting, stitching, what do you do? What is your hobby? What is your passion? And she actually had clay sculptures. So we looked at them, and then we hired one of those fast-talking auctioneers, and it was actually from a horse and sheep auction. But he was really nice, and he said he's helping us out for free. And he came and he auctioned off in a very funny and hilarious way her statues for a good cause, for cancer treatments. And people are really happy to help. If it's for a good cause, you wouldn't believe how many helpful souls are out there. And we had something to give in return with her talent. And we made it a really beautiful evening. Everybody brought some cakes and some foods and no sugar cakes. I just needed to mention that. Xylitol and stevia and whatever else, and salads and greens and juices. But it was a very nice evening, and we raised $58,000. Now that's something that you can organize for a client and actually share or get a portion of that funding for your efforts. And all of a sudden, the stress level is gone. They can afford even treatments in Europe in a clinic and have massive boosts, or they can buy all the equipment to do it all at home, or they can afford to do the treatments with you if you have, as a coach, some of those devices. So, see, this is how we resolve stress. And once you be able to do that, you'll be famous beyond description. Because people know that if I go there, I don't get just another load of advice that I can't follow. I actually get real support. And people are happy to pay for that. And I notice that with all our coaches. So I would like to take you now into the back end of the app to show you that very short. And just like to mention that once I'm finished with that, the deal is off. So if you are considering to join, you have to do it while I'm showing you the app now, and join the program to get this special offer with everything inclusive, including the stress management program. So, let me just go to this slide. Now, where's my... Oops, now I mucked it all up. Now, just a short question in between. Are you all still with me? Is what we share here of value? Is it something that is helpful? Just write a very short note, and then I'll show you the app. Okay, still somebody here. I see there's 280 people on the call, so it actually turned up and not down, so I'm happy. Yes. I always get worried because you're probably 30 seconds behind time, and I guess it's the buffering, but thank you for staying with me. It actually means a lot that I'm not talking here to my computer alone. Okay, now this is the back end. When you log into the account, you have all your clients listed here. This is a demo account that I created. So we click on the demo lady, and that will show you here on the left-hand side your screen where you can check all the different areas, like I'm going to work with my client now in gut health, or I look up inflammation or deficiencies, infections. Infections is a really important one because so many people have latent infections and don't even know it, and it suppresses their immune system. So we work through all of that, toxicity levels, how to test them and how to get rid of them, and systemic health, that's like liver health, kidney health, pancreatic health, detox pathways. All of that is studied here in great detail. And then we look at hormones, cancer treatments, and psychological health, as you know, really important. So this is on the left-hand side. Now I have here a client, and you can see there is a lot of comments in all the different areas. Comment about inflammation, comment about gut health, comment about infections, and this is all first follow-up, first test, and then you see here the test results underneath, and we can actually click on the image and see the image. And that was such a tiny image. Okay, but that's how we can actually go in and look at everything that we've noted for the client. But I don't want to see all of it. I just want to see everything to do with deficiencies. See, now my right-hand side will filter through. If you work with a client for a longer period of time, you notice that there is lots of notes and test reports and test results and everything. So you might just want to look at deficiencies. What was our first? Zinc and selenium levels are very low, iron status normal. And then you can go through and supplementation, zinc 50 milligrams, selenium 200 micrograms, and then patient is also on vitamin B complex to support the uptake, And then when they come back next time, you just click on here, onto this, and then you can say, okay, second follow-up, and I'll just write here second, and do done. You can import a photo, which is really helpful, and then all of a sudden, let's say they have a test result back from their full blood status, then all of a sudden you can add that and show that, and it's updated, and it doesn't matter whether you log in now from your home computer, from your mobile phone, or from your iPad, or your office PC where you've been working. It works on all of them. You can only log in once with a single user account, but from everywhere. You have your username and password. So that's a great way to just turn this on and off. Now you can also say, okay, what is in pathology? What did we send off to the lab? Oh, hormones. We have the hormone test, and we have pancreatic health. We sent that off. And for infections, we did the stool test and looked for any kind. So you can see what's in pathology and turn that back off. A nice thing is, for example, team, and there is no note about team because it's a single user license. But if you say, okay, this client has a nut allergy or has latex allergy or is very sensitive for this and this, you can always note that. And if you work in a team, if you have, let's say, 4 or 5 doctors logging into the same client and all supplying, psychological health from Dr. 1, gut health from Dr. 2, oncologist is taking on cancer treatments, it all shows. And then you can write team notes which are for everybody to see in the area, and that is really important and helpful. So that's our navigation pane. You can always, I can't scroll further up, but you can always email or print whatever you have selected here on the right hand side. And that is good to clients or to colleagues that you work with. So this is our navigation pane. You can always edit the details of the client and just change here their phone number or add a different picture. We don't have a picture here. So let's just go here and say female, and take a female icon, and we add that, and that's it. Submit. And now you will see for the client it's successfully uploaded. Now the client shows up here with that image, and you can take with your iPad or iPhone directly an image of the client, which helps you to remember. I usually don't remember names, but I always remember faces, and that's why for me that's a really important one, so that you see who is there. So now let's just go into consultations, and this is where the real power of the program is. You have gut health, and you open that up. You open that up here, and then you can go through all the symptoms with your client, conditions and associated tests, all the different diseases, and then you have all the different treatments. And I'll just show you very short what's all included. If you go back, it takes you back to the overview. We can look at inflammatory values, types of inflammation, causes of inflammation, tests for inflammation to see that. Very easy, very simple laid out, and all the treatments. Deficiencies in the same way. Vitamin deficiencies. we know that niacin, for example, and then it shows here function, implications of deficiencies, then drug interaction. A lot of drugs actually use up a lot of the vitamins. So when you are on a certain drug, then you need to start supplementing with B vitamins or whatever, and that's all indicated here. Dietary source where you can get that nutrient supplementation with food, it's always there. Warnings, different types of tests that would give you the results, and that's for all of them. Like all the vitamins, everything is there. This was massive research work, and it's all indicated here, and you have even research studies and abstracts for studies that will help you. For example, what is that? Ascorbic acid, vitamin C. What does it do? How does it help? And how can we find deficiencies? So just deficiencies alone, you can click here on deficiencies and we can look at mineral deficiencies. Really crucial when you do a scan and you do a full blood test, you might find out, or you do the iodine loading test. You can see here, peer review studies, iodine 24-hour urine loading test. And then you can see when you have low levels, what can cause it. Increasing demand is, for example, excessive carbohydrate intake. No wonder I have that. Breast cancer, goitre, and whatever, pancreatic diarrhea. It's also a synergistic nutrient. Now, it's for heavy metal antagonist. So if you want to get rid of mercury or uranium, then you need high levels of iodine to get rid of it. It's a detox agent, so it's very important if you have high mercury that you check your iodine levels as well. Now, as a coach, you learn all that in our program, and it's really important to have that at your fingertips. And I have to tell you, I'm just like probably 80% or anybody else, we forget. You learn that, and then you're finished with your 1-year study, and that was in the beginning, and then you turn out at the end and say, oh my God, I have no clue anymore. But here you have, because it's in your app and you can use it at all times. And that just goes through fatty acid, amino acids, phytonutrients, cellular membrane protein, everything included. Cancer treatments all have their research studies and abstracts and treatments and preparation on how you get rid of deficiencies. So it's something that is super easy and super fast and directly at your fingertips right then and there. Okay? So this is our app, and I thought I'll show you that because it's a helpful tool that you can use from any of the devices. And I think we've come to an end. This is now, we have a question and answer session. So if you have any questions, send them to me now. I show you the screen. There is underneath, got a question, and just submit it, and then I will get back to you with an answer. There's 2 ways. If you send in a question, and there might be a few more than I can answer right now, then I will answer you back in writing. And if we cover it now, which I hope, then that will be good. And the first question, oh God, the first questions are all coming in. Okay, that's a lot more than I thought. Okay, let me just grab the first one because it just stands out. Shala, thank you very much. The question is whether all this is available to students which are already finished. Yes, it is. See, when you have a login to our program, and I'll just drag that in very short to show you. And let me just go to Truly Heal. We just go into the website, and now you open up your login details, and you can always go into that whole area. So I need to log in first. Okay, MF, and I'm in. So it's very easy, very simple. And once I'm logged in, I go to courses. Obviously, for me, he takes me to the back end because that's where I deal with comments and everything. So now I go to courses. And in courses, I can see here, Health Coach Certification. I'm 21% finished. Now, if I look here, I can see all the lessons, and I can see all the assignments as well. So I am And you can always do 3 at a time, and then you have to wait for your teacher to finish them. And it turns out to be really well. Our teachers are extremely fast, are very effective, but we don't want you to race ahead and work through everything, and then we have to correct you up here. That's not working. So this is introduction, very basic, very simple. You learn all the coaching guidelines, how to promote yourself here in the very first stage. This is actually where we want you to start setting up some of the basic things that you do during the protocol, during your learning curve, so that you're afterwards already done and finished and have your income. So all that is included. And then we have the EQ, Truly Heal Academy, and it covers here all the introduction, all the career and leadership. And then further down we have all the mental and emotional and all the health issues. So, but as you go through, you would click on this and then you open up, and let me just go into understanding cancer, just for you to see. Then you have here your lesson, and then you go all the way down. You learn it all, you can read it, you can print it out, you have it in your handbook. And then you say, view lesson quiz. You need 100% to pass this quiz. And then you start out, what is cancer? And you put your own verbal formulation in here to really define what you learned in here. You answer all of those questions. Some are multiple choice. If you're not finished, you just say save. All good. You don't need to finish all at once. And when you come back, all your answers, I should have typed something in, is still there. Once you are finished and you've typed everywhere you answer, then you just say complete quiz, and it's sent to your teacher directly, and your teacher has then the ability to correct. If you don't really know what to answer, you don't know what was asked, or you really have a problem, you can always type in here and send a question to your teacher. I recommend that you first read, because if your answer is in the text, they will just write back, just go and visit through what is in the program, and that will make it a lot easier. So you can type in questions if you need clarification, and they are more than helpful to get back to you with guidance or with direction or what you can read or a website or something that will help you understand the problem a lot better. And then you just press send to teacher, and they like me for sending those googly-whoops messages, but it's something that will help you to understand how it works. So once I'm finished and I've submitted my assignment, I just go on to the blue questionnaire, and that's it. So I learn how we implement a questionnaire into the program, and then how we read it and how we analyze it, and it's all there. Now let me just go back to the course, and let me show you how we present our programs or training programs in the most effective way. For example, if you would look at Introduction, the Mirror Effect. And I've already passed this assignment. You see it's already green. Then you have up on top a video that you can play. And we've got a special YouTube account where we can stream. So it's actually very nice. If you go on here, you can say, okay, I would like, instead of HD, which is really big, let's stream it in a small 240p, which then takes the quality down. Let me stop that. Takes the quality down, but you stream very fast. And if you have a low internet speed or you have low bandwidth, then that's something that will help. And it still makes it easy to see and to read. And that's why we converted now all our videos into that special YouTube channel. We've been approved. We have 2.5 million views and over 10,000 followers on YouTube, and that's where you get those special privileges with private accounts and streaming accounts and all of that. And that's what I do right now. I stream via UShare, which is for those people that have massive traffic on YouTube. And then you have your slides underneath. You can click on the slide and it opens up in full size. You can print it and you can just close it. You can make it full screen, or you just click at the side and it's gone. So all the slides that were in the video are discussed, and then you have, in this case, assignment already done, but you have assignments underneath. And as you pass, you move on to the next lesson. So it's very simple and very logical. All right, now let's look at what questions we have. Okay, the next question is in regards to the stress coaching program. I haven't mentioned all of the 7 areas and what we learn in them. I will create a separate webinar, separate video with you, where we go through all the different chapters of the stress coaching certification, because I know this is something that will be extremely important to cover all parts, and I'll share with you exactly when that will be. But it probably will become close, or the sharing will be close to when we launch the program, so that, you learned about the funnel and then creating credibility and then showcasing and then selling. So when we have it ready for our exclusive program so that you can buy it on your own, that's when we do the webinar. If you want to have it right now and you want to join the early bird, as I call it, before you get the certification, you can do it now. And I just see the question underneath here. If we join now, can we still become certified as a stress coach? And that's a question from Denise. Yes, you can. The questions, once they are approved, and we have to have those questions approved, once they are, we will send them up and we will notify all our coaches with an email that the questions are uploaded for the stress coach certification. And then whether you're finished, whether you're in the middle of the program, you just go through with those, learn the lesson, finalize your stress tests, and once you have them, you will be certified. It's a separate certification within the health coach certification, so you can do that whether you're finished or not. If you join now, it's free of charge to you. Okay, next question. Bloody hell, there's so many. I might answer some of them back because I don't want to drag that out forever. The next question here is about the what's that? Okay. The app is not something that you can use in a clinical environment during your studies. Okay, now I understand your question. Yes, you can use the app for training. While you study through the program, you can set yourself up or client up in that app and work through the app without any problems. You cannot use it for practice. So let's say you sign up for the coaching program, you get the app, you don't learn, but you use the app as a review tool. You can do that, certainly, but it's not something that will be able, that you can store many clients on it. You can store only one person while it's in training modus. So you use it for research, you use it for study, you use it, and once you have your certification, once you get your approval from us that you've passed the test, then the app is cleared. It's just one button that we need to press, and then you can store as many clients. You can use it for time management, and I have forgotten to say we're adding to the program time management. The questionnaire that we use for the Truly Healed protocol will be implemented, so your clients fill out the questionnaire online, and then it's already read into your program, so you have all the details of your clients in that protocol. So there is still huge developments. I have to say we're working at the moment with a college for functional medicine. We're working with 3 doctors and naturopaths who joined our app program, and we're improving all the time. So we're nowhere near the end. This thing is going to grow into a massive thing. We have now 12,000 entries, 12,000 research studies in there, so it's already fantastic. But the practicality will include, client management, invoicing, all of that will come. But it takes time, and we don't want to overdo before we have the foundation right. And once that is done, then the 450 won't be valid anymore. It's going to go up as well, because then it's a full-on clinical management program, especially for a health coach, a dream. So that's still in the process. And yes, you can have access right from the start, but not as a client tool. It's more like as a study tool. Okay, I think I'll wrap it up for now. If there is more questions, there is more questions, but I'll answer them separately because I don't want to drag everybody out forever. And I want to close my deal. I'm going to close down now, and once the button is gone, which is probably in about 15 seconds, then the deal is off. And you've missed out. Just have to say that. Thank you very, very much for listening and staying with me. It's been a bit longer than I anticipated, but you see, I love this subject. I love marketing and advertising because I realize how it improves my own business so dramatically. And we're selling now what I sold before during workshops every day, and that's a real benefit for me because it takes the pressure away. I don't need to be there all the time and to work through. It actually does it on its own, and I wish everybody to have such a residual income stream in place that you can fulfill your passion, like live your passion and dream, and don't need to worry about the other things because they are in place and they work and you're empowered, and all of a sudden things run smooth. Thank you very much for listening and have a beautiful day.